Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Third Wheel. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm your other host, Hamish.
And today we are joined by Freddy for our 103rd episode. How you doing, Freddy? And would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, Aaron. I am Freddy. I have a podcast too, Pull the Plug Podcast. Age 25, single, ready to mingle. What else? That's it. Black, Nigerian, tall, 6 foot, good jeans.
I was just about to say we all are when you said single, ready to mingle. Then you said black, Nigerian, 6 foot. And I was like, okay, yeah I'm not.
I was going to say your audience, is it mainly females?
It's actually like pretty split. It's actually like very like 50-50. I think it started off more male, and then I think recently it's become more female.
Any females that actually find me attractive, I'm going to plug my app at Freddy's_Fables on Instagram. So I've got a cold, by the way, just to give you a heads up.
That's all right. It might make your voice sound a bit more, like rusty.
Yeah.
Some girls dig that. Yeah, we met in sixth form. Actually, we both went to the same sixth form. Didn't speak much at school.
No, we didn't.
Actually. I know, like you released a podcast, so like kept tabs and all that.
Oh, you've listened to my podcast?
Yeah. Pulled the plug. I remember because it came out before our one.
Okay.
And I remember when we started it, I was like, I kind of used it as almost like a reference point to Hamish. Okay. As like, hey, I know this person who does a podcast. We could do like something like this. Or when we were like debating like whether we should do it like remote or online or like in person and stuff like that.
Because you actually initially started in person, right? And then
yeah, we did like the first 27 or so in person, and then the pandemic happened and it was like, okay, we got to go remote. It's so much better in person, I think.
Yeah, you build a rapport with them.
It's just stuff like reading body language as well. Like,
very true.
If you're, I don't know, asking a question which they don't really want to answer or stuff like that, and it's just easier to read than like seeing them on the screen.
We tend to force our guests to actually answer the question. Yeah.
Have you had like guests where they like said like, nah, I don't want to do that?
Well, I feel like we're masters at gaslighting people. Something not to be proud of or proudly claim of that we can do. But I don't know. We always put like a drink in front of people. Okay. We get everyone's just drinking. They feel a bit loose. And then they end up just talking. They're like, oh, no, I shouldn't. I'm like, go on. What's the harm? Then we release it without prior consent. Actually, no, them joining is enough consent. And then we release it. And then they'll be like, oh, my days, you posted it. Da-da-da.
Oh, they like that. Do any of them ask, like, can I listen to it first?
Yes. But I always say, because I edit the video, I always say, when it's out, it's out. Actually, no. Sometimes I give them a little link, like an hour or two before publish. And then, they can watch it there.
I was going to say, like, we've had a fair few people who've been like, can I listen to it first? And we always have. We've tried to give it to them as early as possible just so they can listen to it, give us like feedback so we can like cut stuff out. But there was one guest we had, I'm not going to name her or his name, but
name him.
I'll name him to you, but I'll like, oh shit, I'm going to have to cut this bit out. Just to cut out so much of the episode. And I remember making like a really banging point that I was like had a bit like stumped.
Oh, okay.
And then in the edit afterwards, like, oh, can we like cut that like from this timestamp to this timestamp? And I was like, oh, mate.
Do you know what? Actually, what I tend to do is because I edit from time to time. Sometimes I will edit it in a way whereby I will put myself to be a bit more to be seen better than my peers. Yeah, so anytime I fuck up, I will actually edit that out and then just leave their fuck ups in there. Tevin, one of my co-podcast hosts, he's actually noticed that recently. So as a result, I've actually stopped editing the audio. But when it comes to the video, not everything's always there. So
how does your like editing like process work? Who does what?
Yeah, so we have a studio. So we record at a studio. And the studio owner actually edits. He merges the two cameras and then the audio to the visual, gives that to us. Then I will do a few more tweaks, such as like little thumbnails or not thumbnails. Is it called third title, whatever they call it? So little title pieces and all that stuff. I will add that in Adobe Premiere.
Oh, Premiere Pro.
Yeah. So that, and then we'll just post it onto YouTube.
Okay, awesome. How do you find? Because like so we don't use video. We're like an audio only podcast, and we made that decision basically as soon as we started because we recorded our promo actually with our like phones, like our very original promo, and then found it like really weird, like looking into a camera and talking and Well, I found it weird anyway. And then the editing process as well of kind of, if I'm editing audio and as I mentioned, I was like, I could like cut out a section or like something I said, then that video also needs to be like cut at the same point. And then wouldn't it just look a bit weird? No?
So as I said, like the audio and the visuals already like merged, and then I will cut it. So as soon as I cut like a visual component, the audio will also be cut off. However, I do the visual, so YouTube, and then my friend Falarin does the audio, so everything that goes on Spotify and all that stuff. So it's not always the same. So Falarin will, so it's all independent. So Falarin may cut something out, I may leave that in, and vice versa. So that's the reason why we push people to watch and listen to it twice, such that they can see things that have actually been omitted. Or... Do
you find like people tend to do that, or do you think that like halves your like listeners?
Believe it or not, people actually do tend to watch and listen to it. So they'll listen to it whilst like pop into the shops and then watch it to actually see our reactions, because we're quite controversial on our podcast and we try to call each other out or get each other into trouble. So it's nice to see our facial expressions and all that shit. In addition to that, you actually mentioned something about getting used to like recording in front of a camera and a microphone. That's one thing I actually recently got used to. And one thing I had to deal with, like initially what it was, I'll always be like facing the camera and facing the microphone, and I'll be like I'll have to think twice on what I would say. But now I've actually learned to, because the way our thing is set up, we actually just face each other. So now I've just learned to just face my co-host, forget about the camera, and just have an authentic conversation. But that does have its problems though, because I feel like I'm just chatting to my friends and I'm not centering myself.
Right.
And our conversations tend to be uncensored.
That's the pro and the negative, I guess, because then it does come, I guess more authentic. I guess it's more enjoyable to listen to when it does feel like a conversation, just without people knowing you're being recorded.
True, very true.
How many people on your podcast?
So we first started off with 5, and now it's been reduced to 3. So
is that like beef? Is that
actually one was because actually I don't even know what we've actually said. I think we said
what's the PR? What's the PR?
And so at least we come as a united front. Actually, I'm going to be honest. So yeah. One got... No, I can't say that. Okay. Yeah, mutual like agreement.
Termination.
They left, yeah. And then the other one just couldn't handle the heat.
Okay.
The comments, it was a bit like proper negative towards them.
Oh, to the individual themselves?
Yeah, it was just uncalled for. So that's one thing we've now had to start to implement, because that happened to that individual. In addition to that, we had a guest that came on and wanted to educate us on like witchcraft, on tarot reading and all that stuff. And she was talking to us about witchcraft and Satanism and all that stuff. And we failed to like look after our guest and make sure that she was, let's say, hidden from the abuse and all that stuff. And yeah, she received a lot of abuse. People were calling her a witch and all that stuff. And we didn't help matters because we were promoting it in a way whereby we were saying that she's a witch, but we didn't actually say it. So,
because you're looking for the like kind of, I guess, the clickbait or the controversial stuff to like share, so it gets more like listeners in, I guess.
Yeah, so we learned our lesson because she sent a message and then blocked us all.
Oh god,
the episode's still out, so tune in. But yeah, it's like, yeah, we're going to do a lot more. We're going to start filtering our comments, so making sure that our guests are fine. And also give them a heads up that in actual fact you may receive abuse. One thing I've learned is not to read comments because it gets to me.
Does it?
Yeah, I just can't. I can't do it.
Like, what would it like? What would you do? Would you then go into like the next recording and maybe not like be as talkative or overthink everything someone says? And
I would overthink it. Like in my head, I'll be thinking, obviously this person doesn't know me, so why am I taking their opinion on board? But yeah, I feel like I will change the way I behave in the next episode. So I've just learned to just just not read it at all, and then so I can just continue being me.
Do you ever like respond to any of the comments?
I used to, and then my peers said I should stop. I was basically being a keyboard warrior and just becoming like a troll. and apparently it doesn't really help without brand image. So yeah. What about you guys? Do you guys receive like trolls or negative comments?
Nah, not really. Maybe we just don't have the listenership for that. But yeah, we just haven't really.
Well, Hamish smiled. What was that? What was that smile?
It's not to our faces. Like, that's just how people would move, right?
Oh, what was it? What have they said?
I mean, I haven't heard anything negative as far as I'm aware. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't be like to our knowledge or like to our faces.
But I brought up the OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. Oh, was that? Oh, did you count that as negative?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Well, it's the most negative thing we've got.
Oh shit! That reminds me. I actually received abuse from a feminist, a hardcore feminist. I had to block her. I matched her on Tinder.
Okay.
Yeah, but go on. Yeah.
I actually thought I was almost like, because I was playing devil's advocate almost. Because OnlyFans, not a lot of people aren't like butt naked. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be like.
I don't know. I haven't subscribed.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
Aaron has.
I have not subscribed. But I was saying like on Instagram, yeah, you'll have models or whatever, like posing in bikinis, getting like 1 million likes, whatever. So there's same people that are doing it on OnlyFans and just getting money for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what would you do if your son or daughter had an OnlyFans account?
I'd ask them. It depends how much.
So let's say they're actually making money, like they're top 1% earner. You will start recording for them.
No.
Create a home studio.
I'll be like, I'll be like, you need better lighting.
Look, I'll just say I'll be like your accountant and help you manage your finances for a bit to make sure you're not, ruthlessly spending your thing, and then you can carry on as long as things don't get brought into my. Like I'll turn like a blind eye to it if you're making your peas and you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it or you're doing it for some wrong reason, like I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what a wrong reason could be right now, but then so I may speak, but yeah.
They can make a lot of money. To be fair, if I was a girl, I'd sell myself. I'll be flown out to Dubai right now to get shat on for 50k.
50k.
Okay.
50k. What about 10k?
Yeah, 10k. Would you do it?
10k.
Aaron, would you do it?
No.
If it's not being recorded, like, or if it's not being a public video, then it's an easy yes, I guess.
Well, if you ever see me go to Dubai and come back a rich man, just know.
We know why.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's been like some of the controversial topics you've talked about on your podcast?
LGBTQ. That one was. Yeah, that one was serious. I don't help matters by actually putting them as a hashtag as well. But yeah, we were talking about transgenders and what would you do if your 3-year-old started to identify as the other sex? Yeah, what would you guys do?
If my 3-year-old?
Yeah.
3-year-old doesn't have that.
How can you even talk in your
mental
3-year-old?
capacity? Right? Can they?
Oh, okay. No, so not identify. So I think the scenario was, and at the age of 9, they decided actually no, they now identify as a girl and they want to be wearing a skirt and all that stuff to school. And then at the age of 16, they want to undergo, what's it called? Gender reassignment and shit. Yeah, so what would you do?
I'll have to consult the partner because I'll be out of my depth here. Like, I'll be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'd do, so I'll just be like, consult the partner. What did she have to say?
I'd like to think I'd support him.
I'm not saying I wouldn't support it. I just don't know what. Like, if they imagine they just came up to you and said that. It's like the thing about Aaron when we used to have the conversation about like, what if your daughter came up to you at like 18 when she just went uni and she got pregnant after like the first night? Like, what would you do? It's like one of those scenarios. It's like
first night. So I had a thought, but yeah.
I think like you've given like a timeline where it seems like they've like this isn't like a.
It hasn't caught you by surprise.
It isn't like a 1 month thing where they've just been like, oh yeah, I want to do it. Like it's from an early age. It's like gone until they're like old enough to be old enough and smart enough to make like a decision for themselves. So I don't think I would. It seems like it's long enough not to be shocked by it, and you've probably even had the conversations like with your partner already. Like, what if they want to do this and all that? So I suppose that doesn't really seem like too much of a big deal to me.
Do you have much of a say on their life? I hate the fact that some parents actually try to live their lives through their kids.
I think you have a say, but I don't think you have the right to like decide for them. Like, do you not think they have it? Like, your parents have a say at all?
So with my parents, obviously they've like taught me all the ways up until the age of 18. And then at the age of 18, they said, like, it's your life. Anything you want to do, it's your life. They won't say, obviously they'll give me advice and stuff, but they won't ever get in the way of, like, take for example, I actually want to get a motorbike soon. My mum doesn't like it, but she said, yeah, you're 25, like, it's your life, you do it. And I think that upbringing, I actually want to translate that to my kids, because really and truly, it's their life. I can't live my life through them. And I don't want them to resent me. I want to give them as much freedom and enjoyment as possible.
Wouldn't you be like fine in that scenario where your kids wanted to like change gender? Like it's up to them.
Yeah.
So why was like the...
Oh, there was backlash because we had 4 other members on the podcast and they all have different views.
Okay.
One person said, what does a 3-year-old know? Another person said they will beat the kid and send them back. Yeah, and there's several other things.
Wait, what would you actually do? Like, what was your answer to that, Freddie? Because
what would I do?
The
like,
9-year-old one. Yeah.
If he wants to wear, sorry, maybe caught me out there.
If they
wear a skirt like to school, and if I don't want my kid like being proper upset, hating me, hating their life because they can't behave the way they want to behave. Do you understand?
What if your kid's getting bullied at school for wearing a skirt?
Well, as long as they feel comfortable.
But like they're coming home crying and stuff.
The other kids' parents are getting rushed. That's what's happening.
The other kids' parents.
Actually, that's a valid question. What would you do if your kids get bullied?
Like, surely then, like, you might have to be like, you know, maybe you shouldn't wear that. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't wear that skirt. Like, but then they're like, no, but this is me. This is my identity. And you're like, yeah.
See, that's the thing. If that's them, they will feel comfortable being themselves, and I don't think they'll care what the bullies will say. Worst comes to worst, I will enroll my kid onto like an MMA course, and yeah, I'll tell my kid to beat the shit out of him.
Okay.
Yeah, I say this now, but God knows what will happen.
Yeah, here's the thing where like, did we talk about the pregnant thing, Hamish, on the podcast episode, or no?
I don't remember. We may have, we may not have, but basically the scenario. Should we actually run the scenario to see Freddy's opinion? Basically, Freddy, your daughter. We'll adjust the scenario a bit. That your daughter goes to uni.
Mm-hmm.
She's like 18. Within the first like few weeks, she gets a guy pregnant. I mean, wait, she gets pregnant and impregnated by a guy. Sorry. Oh yeah, she gets impregnated by a guy. In the first scenario, she knew the guy, but the guy didn't want any part of it or wanted an abortion or so on. What would you do in that scenario when your daughter tells you?
Okay. I'm going to make a joke. I feel like I have to give a disclaimer first. Yeah, push it down the stairs.
Okay.
I'm joking. No,
silence afterwards.
No,
episode 103 was the last episode.
No, again, it's all about autonomy. That's her life. If she wants to keep the baby, she can keep the baby. If she's not, and I will help her with the abortion. Like, I will actually like help her, like emotionally and all of that stuff. So it's her decision, but I won't impose my views. Like, I'll be a father. Like, just like
yeah.
I don't know. One thing I've learned recently is like autonomy. I think one thing that parents fail to understand is that kids go through shit too. We like to think, okay, they're only kids. It's not that deep. Kids actually go through these things. Like, some kids commit suicide. So we need to empathize with them. But what would you guys do?
I think I was like, I'd support them, like literally kind of whatever decision they wanted to do. If they needed help, like looking after the kid while they still wanted to like study and stuff.
Oh no,
like
I'm not looking after the kid.
You're not?
No, that's their kid. I'll be the grandfather. Like,
but what if they were like, oh, I want to continue like studying and I can't like manage it by like keeping a kid. Can you look after it?
I know a lot of mature students that have enrolled into uni with kids. They carry their kids into school. So yeah, that's.
But then, so what would you give your kid that example and be like, I know a lot of people who like survive with it.
I've looked after my kid for 18 years. Now I'm going to have time to spend with my missus and like enjoy life. What, to raise another kid?
I'm not imagining it as like a full-time thing. I'm literally like imagining it's like a babysitting job.
I like kids actually, so yeah, I most likely would look after the kid.
As long as she's not like, I guess, like, you know, dumping it off on you. Like, she's like, she still wants to care for it, but like certain weeks she may not be able to, like if she's doing like all night or assignments.
As long as your kid's not like taking the piss out of you, like taking advantage of you being like their parent, and like
as long as they concentrate in school as well. But if they don't end up getting knocked up again, nah.
Two kids is too many.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so in general, like we basically said that we'd firstly go to our partner. We wouldn't like say anything. We'll try and support them, and then we go to our partner because we don't want to say anything in the moment because it was always going to come off wrong. And at that time, they probably just need to hear, you know, supportive things compared to like, for example, saying, "Oh, what the fuck" or something. You know how you normally would react like, "Oh, what the fuck." We'd have to take a few seconds and then reply in a more supportive way or something, and then have a conversation with the partner.
Pregnant? You are going to work in McDonald's. Oh gosh. No, I get that. No, that's good though. So what would you discuss with your partner?
Who's going to be good cop and who's going to be bad cop?
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not built to be bad cop. I'm not built like that.
I feel like it's already happened, so there's nothing you can really say. Like, there's no need for a bad cop. Like, it's happened. You're wasting your time.
No, that is one of your quotes, Aaron.
Yeah, I feel like I might have said that. But then maybe you got to be like bad cop to like make sure it doesn't happen again, like that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, if it happens again, I don't even know what I'll do. No, that time I'll get angry. Like, what the fuck? Do you think it's fair? Okay, obviously, woman's body, woman's choice, yeah? But if the partner, the father, doesn't want to be involved, should they still have to be like forced to pay child support and shit? Because obviously a woman can have... One second, let me just say this.
You're going to get cancelled here so quick.
Give me a second.
Are you going to cut that
you're saying that, so you've had a conversation with the person you've like slept with, and the man doesn't want to keep the baby, the woman does. And then so he's like, okay, yeah, but I don't want no part of it. And then they're like, okay, but I'm still going to have the baby. Then you're saying now, does the man still have to pay like for the child?
Yeah, why?
He should.
No, but then if it's reversed, if the woman said that she doesn't want a baby, but the guy said he wants a baby, the woman has every choice to terminate the pregnancy if they want to, or or give it up for adoption if they want to. But for a guy, it's not the same.
What if the guy went and got a surrogate mother to have the baby?
What?
What if the guy basically found a surrogate mother who would carry the baby, and then basically they'll give birth to the baby?
That's a long
and then that way
procedure.
She has to give birth. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, because I mean, unless this is still the uni scenario, because in the uni scenario, it's different.
I don't think a father should have to pay for child support if they don't want a baby. That's my opinion.
They should. They're 50% responsible for it.
The thing is, there are several options out there. Gosh,
would you be happy if you grew up without a father in the same scenario?
No, of course not. But then the last thing you want is for your father to actually resent you. Look, I'd rather have a involved parent than an estranged parent that just sees me as a what's it called? Expense.
But then won't you ever ask the question like, "Where's your dad?" Because that would still make it just as bad, right?
Of course, you'll be curious to find out who your father is. But if I find out actually my father didn't want me, then yeah, fuck him.
And that won't make you feel unwanted. At this age, it's like easier to say because...
No, it's easy to say because I have both my parents, thankfully. But I don't know. Like, I think that's just me. Like, there's nothing I can do. I can't force someone into liking me or wanting to be involved in my life. It's just I feel like I'll use it as motivation to become like an ultra billionaire, such that my father will try and get in contact with me again and be like, "Oh, give me some money." I'm like, "Fuck you, Dad." Okay. Think about it the other way around. Let's say the father wants to keep the kid and the woman doesn't want to keep the kid. What happens then?
So it's basically a Lewis Litt scenario from Suits.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I love Lewis.
Ultimately, it's down to
the
course,
woman. Like, woman's body.
It's the woman's body. Ultimately, it's down to them.
What happens to baby, of course, but then me being involved is not. That's not necessary, is it? Oh no! By the way, I just want to note that I would never leave. Yeah, I would never do this. I'm just. Yeah. It's just all scenarios.
Devil's advocate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, in this case, I'm with a partner that doesn't want a kid, and I want the kid.
Yeah.
But then why would I be with this partner? Because we would.
No. Say like you want you want children eventually, but she's got pregnant and it's just at a bad time in her kind of life. She's just got this promotion and she's now going to have a kid or something like that. Or you can't like necessarily afford it or whatever. Like you do eventually want kids. It's not like she doesn't want kids or she hates kids. Because I guess that's like a literal like relationship. Should you be with them in the first place kind of thing. But like she just doesn't want it at this point.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I mean, ultimately that's going to be her choice, isn't it? But basically I'll be like, if you had the kid, you wouldn't have to stay home. You could go right back to work after. I'll stay home. I don't mind being 24/7, work from home. Parent. I've said this on previous episodes before. I don't mind being the one who stays home and just working from home, taking care of the kid.
But it's not that simple because obviously they have to carry that kid throughout gestation.
I think the point is that you're going to do your best to convince her that you're there to support them, and if they have this kid, that it's going to be fine. But ultimately, you're just making the points to be like, if we do have the kid, it's going to be fine. But end of the day, if you don't want to go through 9 months off like carrying someone inside you and all that, then
so my reason would be only if it's like it's going to affect her promotion thing. Like I would say like you could still go right back to work, but if it's like a different scenario, like for example, we can't financially afford it, or she for some reason doesn't want it at this age, then like what are you? It's not worth having that argument really. But yeah, like if it was due to like the time off that would happen afterwards, like the paternity leave, maternity leave, whatever, then I'll try and show like I would work from home 24/7. Like that's not an issue for me. But if it's a matter of something else, then it's a different scenario.
What were you saying, Freddy?
No, I would always want a kid. I think kids are a blessing.
Would you want one right now?
No.
Okay.
However, if I were to have one right now, I wouldn't be like, life is unpredictable.
Yeah. I would like.
Yes, I wouldn't be phased by it. I would be happy.
I'll deal with it. I'll do like.
I would love a mini.
I'll do what I have to do to like.
I'll name him Frederick II.
What if your kid at like, let's say 12, wanted to change their name from the one you gave them?
No.
They're not doing that.
That's one thing I'm not going to allow. I'm not going to tolerate. No.
What about like 18?
No. Plus that's easy. 18 is their choice, right? You can't do anything at 18.
No. This is where I draw the line. No, I gave you that name.
Yeah, I'd be a bit disappointed if they won't change their name. Wouldn't you, Hamish? Like.
I would too.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they did it after 18, oh well, like, I'll be like, yeah, you're also getting disowned in the process, I guess, if it's that deep. But, I mean, I don't think it really bothers me that much, because I'm not even bothered, like, if they keep, like, my partner's surname or my surname or, like, whatever. Like, I'm not too fussed already.
Would you, a quick question, side note, like, would you allow your partner, if your partner said they wanted to keep their maiden name for their profession?
We've had this.
Yeah. I said I don't mind.
Okay, Aaron.
Yeah, it depends how peng she is.
That's actually that's a good response. Actually, that's a very good response. I like that.
So if she's super peng, she gets to keep it.
I mean, if she's super peng, she can do what the fuck she wants, man.
Right, Aaron would change his surname to her surname, bro. That's
would
what
you
would do, fam.
I wouldn't be like, mate. If
Aaron is waiting.
If I was like fucking punching, I was like, oh shit, man. I gotta do what I gotta do. No, I don't know. No, to be honest, I want to keep like Conway. Like it's not the most exotic surname, whatever, but that's like my surname. That's like my identity or whatever. Like I'm proud to be a Conway, and I'm sure she probably feels the same about her surname too, which is like totally cool with me. But having said all that, like in that situation, I'll be in love. I'm open. I'll probably be doing whatever, to be honest. But then when it comes to your kids, what do they take?
No, your name.
But she doesn't want that. She's like, why? And I don't like the hyphenated shit either, if I'm being totally honest. I think
actually, double barrel. I think I can be content with double barrel names.
Double barrel. Now, your kid who has a double barrel surname.
No, for her. But my kids will have my name.
So, okay, wait.
My foot is down. My kids will have to have my surname, but my woman may have a double barrel name. Actually, you know what? They can keep their surname if they want to for their profession, but everything else, posts and all that stuff, if it's coming through my letterbox, Just gonna have my last name.
What if she already pays like 50% of your house or more of your thing? Then it can't be just your level.
Them ones that she's the breadwinner for the house. Like, okay, that's fine then. I can't question. I'm joking. No, I don't know. I think obviously, okay, from a female's perspective, like, they'll be thinking like, okay, it's their name. They did all the work, all that stuff. But I feel like it's because of like, tradition. Like, why are you changing tradition? Like, there is actually no need to do that.
But like somebody made that up though. That like idea.
Yeah, it's true. But to do something different, and I don't know why I will be offended if she were to not take my name, but I will be.
The thing is, the way I see it is that when we've been growing up here, we've been throwing out certain bits of like the old school hardcore like tradition enforced upon us. Like, what's a few more like traditions that don't even like cause anyone harm really? Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not going to be insecure enough to be harmed because she wants to keep her surname. No, it's just like, it's not that harmful,
I feel like you'll be perceived as a beta male.
Do you think?
Like,
really?
So she took her surname. Okay, she wears the trousers. Even though like I don't care who wears the trousers, like, but it's just.
I'll be like, mate, have you seen her, mate? She's like out of your league, bruv.
Fair point. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I actually don't know.
I'm gonna just throw at you like a bunch of like previous third wheel kind of questions around this that we've had, like relating ones, like almost the best of.
Wait, before you say that, can I just acknowledge that you guys, like, kudos to you for hitting 100 episodes? Because that's crazy. Like,
thank you.
That's actually crazy.
It is a bit mad, to be fair. As you mentioned, like tradition. If your partner proposed to you, would you be fine with that?
No.
So, like, what would you like? Even say no?
No, I won't embarrass them. That's my partner. Like, nah. Anything that happens to them is pretty much happening to me. So I won't embarrass them. But I'll be like, yeah, I'll be on the floor too. And I'll be like, get your ass up, like whispering in her ear, like, we're not doing this. I know you may have a thing planned and stuff, but please don't. I feel like we would have had a conversation prior to this, such that she won't be doing anything wild like that. What about you guys?
I think me and Hamish were kind of slightly different. So I was like, I want to propose. I do want to propose because I just think I'm like a soppy git anyway. Like I think I'll do a sick proposal like in the first place. Like,
okay.
I just like.
What do you have in mind?
No, that's secret. That's a secret.
Okay.
But if like my partner did propose to me, I'll be like disappointed that I didn't get like the chance to like show my skills. Yeah, my capabilities, my facilities, but I would also be gassed, and I'll be like, yeah. I'd also love it if they like. I'd be gassed like at the same time that they like that I'm getting like married or whatever. So I wouldn't like have a problem with it.
The reason why I wouldn't be gassed is because I know me, and most men as well, quite similar in the sense of it takes a guy a long time to actually properly realize and deep that. Actually, yeah, they want to spend the rest of their life with this individual. Because I feel like most females, they catch feelings quickly, but Aaron...
I'm one of them.
You're one of them. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, if a girl was to propose to me, I don't know, that'd be mad. What about you, Hamish?
Obviously, I would plan to do it myself, but if she did it, like once again, like it would make life easier. Think about it, because then that means you don't even have to do half the preparation. You can still maybe do one, but like, it's like less pressure on you. Like, imagine you got declined on the day you did it. Like, say you like, but she proposed like, like a month before, like, or something, then you were gonna or something. And that basically made your life a bit easier anyways. Because, yeah, she wants to, marry you. But then basically, I feel like it's not that deep. Like, I know a lot of people like, have this stance where they want to do it and so on. For example, in your case, but it's just like, I don't think it's like that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think it's like that much of an issue. If we're gonna get like married, then it's gonna be. It is what it is. Like I don't know. I feel like it's not that harmful, doing it, and it's just like, to be honest, yeah, it just works out, doesn't it? Like
It's true. To be fair, you get the same end result, but actually, okay.
You can still do it, by the way, right after, like, or
yeah. So as long as it wasn't public and it wasn't recorded, it's like, okay. Yeah, you can do that. But so, what are your turn-offs when it comes to dating?
I think smoking was one for me. I think I remember saying, cigarettes. Like I just hate the smell of it. I just like can't stand it.
If I see a girl drink like a can of Red Bull in the morning, that's a turn off.
To be fair, that's fair. Like,
but what if, like, what on the train? Like, say you're on the train to work or whatever, district line, wherever it is, and
why are you
girl gets a can of a Red Bull
so early?
Like, she's just tired. Do you know what I mean? She just needs the energy.
I can understand if she was having a coffee instead, you know, like I can understand the coffee without Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull, that's
Mate, it gives you wings, bro.
That's caffeine and like 2 bags of sugar too.
It's basically like the builders on the Bakerloo line, bro, drinking Red Bull in the middle.
It's true.
And I'm like, I ain't on that. For me, I feel like one would be like the level of understanding, you know, like as well, on top of like the cigarette thing. Because like, I feel like if they're not willing to understand your viewpoint, or they're very like narrow-minded, it's just not gonna work. Because first of all, people think I say outrageous shit, but I just say things and I treat people the same way as I treat the next person, yeah. And if someone gets offended, then that's basically showing that they're not happy with it. But I also hate the thing where, you know, there's like double standards where usually I say rich shoots to these people, to the people, because most people that I know, and basically they'll treat someone one way, but the moment they treat it the same way back, they'd have an issue with it. So if I treat someone the same way they, for example, treated me, suddenly I'm offended or I have an issue. Do you know what I mean? But like in reality, that's what they're doing, but they won't acknowledge that and try to change it. Instead, they're just going to blame it off on me. So I'm just like, if you have an issue with it, change it yourself. But then people think I'm being petty, you know, people think I'm angry. Whereas it's like, no, I'm just doing the same thing you did to me. And now you have an issue with it. And apparently that makes me petty and so on. So like, you know, like it has to be that level of understanding. It can't be like narrow-mindedness. And
I think that's like quite a common one though. Do you have one which is like kind of like unusual? Because I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, if they don't have like the similar kind of understanding, then that's just not a good thing in a relationship anyway.
Here's one for me, and this reveals my kind of like, I wouldn't say fetish, but feet. Like if their feet is ugly, like if they have ugly toes, ugly feet, then that's a big no for me.
What if she wears socks the entire time?
I'm sure they'll have at least one picture with their feet, or it'll be them ones that I'll have to invoke a rule to say no. Yeah,
it's like
shoes and
first
socks
date.
off at
Sorry,
the door.
I gotta see your feet.
To be fair, like feet is just average, but if you're having like toes that are now doing gang signs, then that's a big no.
I won't lie, yeah. I think one would be like they came from, for example, where I come from, like Stonebridge, and they talk like fully Stonebridge and they don't understand anything else. That would be like a turn off. I'm like, nah.
I like accents.
Do you know what I mean?
I like accents.
I like accents as well, but I don't want them to be like, what do you call it? Like, I don't want them to speak the only way I kind of know. I want them to be like, not sophisticated, but do you know what I mean? Like, I want them to be a bit more, I don't know if it's posh is the right word, but.
Wait, where's Stonebridge? Which area is that?
Northwest 10.
Oh, so are they speaking like road?
Yeah, it's basically.
Okay, no, I can't be having people say.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
If you do it as a joke, like that's all good. Like, if you have the banter. Do you know the South London memes, for example? If she's fully was just like South London, that. Yeah.
But are you telling me like if she's like dream girl, yeah, like stunning, but she speaks like a bit road, you're like not having it?
It depends. Is it banter or is it like just purely like
every single conversation like yeah.
Yeah, is her default road or is it just
it's default road? It is. It's her fluent. It's a fluent language.
It would be good to converse with, but I feel like it's. Well, she's just screaming like the young Philly, yeah, man, like every time you're talking or something, bro. But I would. No, bro. That's mandem.
Yeah, pretty much it is really. So, what do you look for in a woman?
This is a question that we had like near the very beginning. It was like 3 traits. And we'd asked like a few guests, like, what are the 3 traits you would look for in a partner? I think at the time mine was they had to have a boyfriend. They.
Sorry, one second. Say that again.
I didn't say anything.
Oh wow, this is still your wife.
Mate, heart wants what the heart wants. I forgot what the other ones were.
You like the chase, don't you, Aaron?
No, it's not. I don't even like the chase. I prefer like not the chase, but it just happens.
Is that what you're doing?
The chase
currently?
just happens. I don't go for girls with boyfriends. It just happens that I like girls and they happen to have boyfriends. There's like a difference.
You know what I heard recently that you may appreciate, that you may use as your one line of defense for it, is basically when you're going for a single girl, you're fighting against like hundreds of men. When you're going for a taking girl, you're only dealing with one guy. Man. There's only one person competition. So there's a new line. I heard that the other day.
Very true. What about you, Hamish?
Hamish was cats, dogs, and Skepta. That was 3 things.
I saw Skepta the other day, actually. I was walking down Knightsbridge and I saw Joseph, lovely guy.
Big up.
So what would you, Freddy? What would your 3? There were some that were like we didn't allow.
It was like basically it includes default, like, she's good looking to you. I guess she's a nice enough person or something. Like there was some defaults in it. I don't remember the question anymore because it basically got cancelled because Aaron didn't like the question. So we no longer ran the question for so long.
So, okay, ignoring personality, beauty, and brains. Actually, brains is important. Like, I need to have intelligent.
Our actual ones were stuff like ambitious and...
Ambitious, yeah, that's a good one.
Independent, I think, might have been one.
Would you marry within your race, or would you mind branching out?
I'm not fussed, to be honest.
I've already said I couldn't care, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I would love to marry within my race. It's just because I feel like I feel like there's already like an easy rapport there, just like because obviously we're from the same culture, all that stuff.
Yeah, I do think I like get it, as in like that kind of.
I won't have to explain things, but the thing is, the heart wants what the heart wants, and you don't know who you're going to settle down for. But yeah, really and truly, I try to limit it and restrict it to Nigerian girls or Ghanaians. I'm still down for scandal.
Okay.
But and that one I don't discriminate. Yeah. Where's your go-to like dates? Like, where would you take them? Like dating destination. So if there was a girl you want to take out, where do you always take them to?
I don't like the idea of repeating, to be honest.
Okay.
That's traumatic, right?
I don't. Hamish likes it because he's done it, like taken the same girl to the same place like a few times.
Right.
But
Hamish, where did you take him? Where did you take him?
I did not expect to be thrown on the bus.
Hamish, where did you take him?
Allegedly, from a cat cafe.
A cat cafe. So it's just full of cats.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I was saying. Is 3 traits were cats, dogs, and Skepta. So they got to be a.
Oh, do you like animals like that?
Yeah, no, but the trait thing is there as a joke, obviously, but it has some minor bit of truth in it. But I mean, like basically, it was just an easy hop out. Actually, you know what I mean? It just happens to be that, I won't lie, it just overlapped.
I find it very interesting the fact that you like cats and dogs and
Skepta.
You take them to, I forget about Skepta, Joseph. And you take them to like cat cafes and stuff.
Been to a dog event as well. I forgot I think it was like a dog show or something. I don't know what it was.
Hamish, just to answer yes or no, but would you say that's like a kink or fetish for you?
What?
No, I just want to see like just based on the neurology, just to see if you find it like sexually attractive. Like, let's say a girl was to dress up in a cat suit, start looking at pause like Halle Berry. Is that a turn on for you?
I've never thought of it this way.
I prefer the cat over the dog if they were doing that.
Okay, you've never thought of it, but let's think of it now. What would you say?
I haven't thought of it that way, but maybe untested waters. You know,
that's something that you would like to venture into, like foreplay, where you will be a dog or a cat, and then they can mount you or walk you.
I don't know about that. That's a bit extreme.
It's extreme. Or was that something that you haven't thought of, but you would like to try out?
Once again, untested waters, uncharted territory right now.
Okay.
I've never thought of it down that way. I was just like, I just want to have pets. I didn't think of it as like a kink of that. But
okay, what about cats do you find interesting? I just find it interesting that you don't own a cat.
I just find them like, as in like, I've owned it indirectly via like, you know, family before.
Okay.
I just find it like chill. You pet them and then you carry on with your life. Same with like dogs and stuff, but obviously I don't actually own them.
Okay.
I do plan to own them, but yeah, it's just that at the current moment in time, can't own them. But I've never thought of it in the way that you said it. It's really messed me up right now. I'm just like, what the fuck?
No, something to think about.
Something to ponder when you go to bed.
What the fuck?
He won't go to bed. He'll wake up wet. But yeah. Sorry. You see your dating destination being that cat cafe. Do you always pay, or do you split the bill, or do you?
I think in most cases, I think apart from, one case I paid fully. The others have been like split. Because usually they would want to split. Can I just clarify? Like, it's not like I asked them to split. It's usually they would offer.
And when they did offer and you accepted, did you ever have like a part 2 to the date? Like, did you see them again, or was it?
Can I just clarify? Some of these weren't dates yet. It's just that these are just scenarios that Aaron's throwing in. But a part 2, as in, I assume you're going to say where it's vice
like
versa,
a second date, basically.
Nah, not really.
I've realised that women, as much as they, unpopular opinion, as much as they want equality, they still believe in chivalry, and they would expect a guy to pay for a date, which I don't think. Well, which I always do, but I just, if you actually properly deep it, like, that's not fair. Like, you have your own money. Why don't you split it?
Aaron, what about you?
Well, I've been on like a second date where the bill has been split on the first date. I would always offer. I would insist, but then I'll like read their expression and like,
You don't want to be too pushy,
I don't want to be
guess,
like, okay, I'm like, it's a fine line. I feel like it's really like, it gets to a point where it's like they might actually be offended if they think that if they think that you think that they can't pay for themselves.
No, because really and truly, normally it's the guy that initiates it and says, okay, let's go out.
Yeah. I kind of think the person who organizes it should like take care of it.
Should pay, yeah. But even then, like with me, I'll always pay. I don't know why. I just feel maybe it's a pride thing.
But then how does that come? Like, do they push back on that at all? Or they're like, yeah, sure.
Oh, they can push back. They'll be like, no, I'm going to split in half, or they're going to pay. I'm like, no. Then I'll get the waiter to say, come over, give me the card machine, and I'll tap.
But say if she was organizing the date and she ended up like, okay, we're going like top of the shard, something like mega expensive. We're saying this is like early on, like second date, third date, whatever.
Okay.
You're just gonna like just pay for it.
No, in that case, then I'll pay for the shard. Then I'll be like, you get drinks, and then I'm gonna.
Drinks is more.
I don't know. Actually, no. You just read their body language. Like, was it who said that?
Yeah,
you said that. I think about reading their body language, because you can tell if they were literally just trying to finesse you. Because some people will know that actually, yeah, they're always going to pay. So let's try and take the piss. But I think you just read a room, and it's, I don't know. I just can't have a girl pay.
Do you not feel a certain way then if like you were like, yeah, I'll pay, and then she's just like, yeah, okay. Do you not want her to like at least offer?
Part of me wants to say yes. Other half wants to say no, because really and truly I say I'm going to pay, so it is an okay situation. Not, no, I insist. Like, can you imagine? I'm like, yeah, I left my card at home anyway, so yeah. If that happened, I don't know.
I think I just want to go back to the podcast a bit, just so we actually like fully mention it. You mentioned how like in a plan before, like the pros and cons that you found with like running a podcast. What have been some like the hard lessons that you've learned from it? So
I have a podcast with like my friends, that they're my friends. We actually chat on a regular basis, like weekly. We're close friends. And it's very difficult to mix business and pleasure, or like personal and business, like, because you need to understand that everyone has a different creative like mindset, and everyone won't always agree with your view. So I may say, let's do this to advance the podcast, and they'll be like, no, they have a different opinion on the podcast, and that does get frustrating. So it's very difficult to draw the line between, okay, this is my podcast stuff and we're having a dispute regarding the podcast and not our friendship. And that did happen. It didn't really happen. It happened initially where people would take it to heart. But then I think we all realize actually, yeah, it's just business. Because what we tend to do is whenever we have a conference call or meeting regarding podcast stuff, we'll have to, I'm going to say disputes or our conversation. And then afterwards we'll like talk about our personal lives and all that stuff, just so that we can remember that actually we're friends and there's a division between friendship and the thingy, because sometimes it was a bit mixed. So we're like, how can my friend do this? So that's one of the cons. Like, but we've grown up and we've realized, we've matured. I feel like, I don't know if this happened to you guys in the beginning, because surely you can't be in agreement.
Yeah. And especially when there's like only two of us, like one of us kind of has to win.
It's very
like the argument. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's like a deciding vote. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we tend to debate and come to like a general consensus. We've now accepted, or we've enforced this new rule where the majority wins. So what I tend to do now is lobby others. So before we have a conference call, I will call other people and say, this is what I want to propose, this is why. And I'll use my manipulative techniques to win them on board.
That's right.
And then when we have the meeting, yeah, everyone will be like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That is right. That's the shit I dislike about people so much, when people do it in that way to do it. That's a right method to do it.
It's politics, because what will happen is when you have the conference call, everyone's speaking on top of each other and no one's actually listening. Whereas when you have those one-to-one calls, people do listen, and then you can actually answer their questions or their worries, and then they'll be on board.
You mentioned how like keeping business and like pleasure and not like mixing two. So do you consider like the podcast business, or is it like a bit of fun, or is it like work and hobby? Like how do you kind of see it?
So initially, like when we created the podcast, we thought, okay, this will be a nice hobby. I think, what was it? We were actually going to a Nigerian restaurant, all of us. We were in the car, and then Valerie came up with the idea, let's do a podcast. And she was playing a podcast, and we'll listen to the podcast. And we were like, actually, we have funnier conversations amongst ourselves. Yeah, let's do this. So at first it was just literally just like a hobby, a side thingy, just have banter, just talk loosely. But then we got like good reception. People were like, actually, this is really good. And then we started to take it a bit more seriously. So we come up with topics. We'll have like a little itinerary. We've established that we don't always follow itinerary because life is unpredictable in that sense. But or the podcast is unpredictable in that sense. But yeah, it's now, that's the business. We still have fun. Sometimes it may get to us, but then we will remember, like, because obviously sometimes the way we do it is one of us will come up with a topic and then they will lead the conversation. And in your head, when you lead a conversation, when you prep for that topic, you have an idea of how you want the podcast to run. And sometimes it doesn't run the way you want it to run. And people do get upset with the fact that it doesn't run the way that they want it to run because the topic like just went left, or because one person was really drunk or whatever. But then at the end of the day, like when they re-watch the podcast or when they hear feedback from others, they realize, actually, no, it was still good podcast. It was still good content. So yeah, we've now learned to try and separate personal from business. I don't think I answered your question properly. I don't know.
No, it's just pros and cons. So that is a good thing to discuss, because like I'm pretty sure there's been many occasions that me and Aaron have conflicting opinions. We either settle on the middle ground or we don't settle at all, and sometimes one or the other may come back at a later time in the future and agree on like certain things. Maybe it should have been done or so on, and then it may not still be action. But like that's just due to like, may not be incorporated at that point. But
one thing I have realized though, actually, when we have topics, normally, okay, amongst ourselves we have banter. We literally, what we strive to do is try and top each other with our jokes and come up with the worst. When I say worst, I mean the most fucked up joke possible. So I could take the piss out of fat people, all that shit. But when we had a topic about fat phobia, and actually researched the topic, and then I was educated on it, and I was like, shit, actually, my opinions were wrong. Like, this is it. So when I actually discussed it on a podcast, people were like, oh, this is not you normally, That takes some getting used to, actually, just being educated and having to change your opinion on things. Sometimes I will say one thing on a podcast, and then the next day, I'll be like, actually, you know what? No, I was wrong.
I've found that sometimes when I'm like listening back, like editing the podcast, I'm like, I say something and I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I was just wrong about that. Or the worst thing is when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm like we're having like a debate or something, and then I think of something when I'm editing it, and I'm like, oh, if I said this, that would have been so sick. Like, I would have done like that would have been so much better.
That happens. It's the same with like when you have arguments with people in general. Normally you'd be like, oh, I wish I said this point. This would have been a good defeat. But yeah, that's just the way it is. You just have to live with it. When you edit it, like, do you listen to the whole thing or watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I honestly
we don't even really
try to remember.
neither do we.
No, I literally just try and remember. If not anything, I'll just literally just post it the way it is. I don't watch podcasts. I don't even listen to my own podcast.
Yeah, same.
I find it difficult. I find it so difficult.
I used to listen to podcasts, but since we've been making a podcast, I've stopped listening to podcasts just because, I just can't be bothered. Yeah, we edit, we go through, see, this episode, for instance, if we take your episode, for example, we will, normally what we'd do is like even numbers I would take first, go through it once, run through, send it to Hamish, then Hamish would go through it, what I've edited, go through it, and then we'd release it. And then vice versa on odd numbers.
Oh, that's a good concept. With us, we've all dedicated, like, allocated each other like tasks. So I edit the video, so everything that goes on YouTube. Balan will do the audio, and then Tevin's in charge of Instagram. So that's all our tasks. And if I can't do the video, then I'll just give a heads up saying, guys, I can't do it. Can someone else do it? But we won't just like review it and validate the thingy. It's literally down to me. If I want you to be coming out looking good, then that's my prerogative. If not, then yeah. We very rarely get people that say, actually, can you remove this out? Most time we tend to say no, we're not going to do it. Unless if it's like bleeping out a name or something like that. But yeah, that's it.
We've been asked to do it a good few times. But there's been times where some people have asked us to remove things that me and Aaron have said.
Oh.
Some good points as well, yeah.
But yeah, so that one we were like, yeah, if it comes down to this, we won't be sending people copies and we'll just edit out. We'll only send them clips of maybe suspect things they may have said or things that may have come off wrong. And we can remove that. And then, because like removing things we said is like...
I don't think like it's up to them to remove like stuff that we said.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
We weren't even saying against them or against their opinion. We were just saying something from our thought and we were asked to remove it. And I'm like...
No, that's just...
We removed it to not cause drama, but like we were just like...
Everyone's not going to agree with everything you say. So then, no, you shouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But with our guests, like, some people will be like, oh, can you remove this? Can you remove that? We weigh it up and we see, okay, we say to ourselves, actually, that does sound mad. Okay, we're going to remove that. Or that sounds funny, we're going to keep it in. And we're happy to lose friends just for the sake of our podcast. Well, we haven't. Thankfully, we haven't.
Usually, most of the removals I think we've had is because they've said something like maybe that would affect company reputation or so. So like that's been like a calm one.
Okay,
like we've had to take episodes down as well. A couple.
Oh shit!
Before we end, I've got like a few like would you rather questions that we can just go like kind of quickish fire. So one of them is: would you rather win $100 million lottery and have it announced on national TV, or $10 million and no one else knows?
10 mil.
You go for the lower amount?
Yeah, no one needs to know that I got this much bread. I like to be low-key.
I think I'd go for the lower amount too.
Because I can also start putting that money into making more money. And once again, just not have the attention that comes with being a millionaire or something, you know, out in public.
Would you tell friends?
Nah, probably not. I'll maybe like if certain close friends needed like financial help, I'll just offer them no interest, like whatever help, whatever. Like it's not that deep, like because, you know.
What are you saying, Freddy?
I've actually thought about that.
So it's 10 times. It's 10 times the amount you'd get.
I think there was a situation in Jamaica where in Jamaica you're forced to actually like come up, like the newspapers are there, they will take photos and this person came up with like a mask and they collected them thingy. I think with me, what I'll do is I have several middle names. So I would use my middle names as my actual name because not everyone actually reads the newspaper, not everyone watches the news. So yeah, I'll use my middle name. They can announce my middle name and I'll get 100 mil. And then I'll take the photo without my glasses because I look completely different. And then, yeah. Can
I clarify? If you said that we're allowed to wear a mask, then that's an easy cop-out. I don't know if the name bit has to be announced, but if we're allowed to wear a mask, that's a different story.
Oh, no. If they have to take a photo of me, I'll take a photo without my glasses.
Let's say like alternate universe, wherever, like you walk down the street, literally everyone knows, this person's a millionaire. Like this person's won 100 million. Like somehow they just know. They just do.
No, I wouldn't want that.
Would there be a money, like what would the difference have to be for you to like go for it? Say it wasn't 10 million, it was 1 million. So it's 1 million versus 100 million.
No.
Actually, I can make 1 million work.
No,
just enough for me to.
I'll say 100 mil.
No, I think I can make 1 million work for the anonymity. Just because, I don't want to be forced out of London just due to like being too famous. Because I can't imagine what it's like to be like the big artist, like, you know, like someone like having to, they can't go to a Sainsbury's without getting bothered.
It'll be a different kind of bother though. It's not like you're kind of like a celebrity. They just know you got money. That's
the thing, like, and they will literally just see you as money. They don't see you as a person. They don't see you actually, they can help out in other ways. It's excessively rich, such that you won't ever be able to spend that much money in your lifetime. So why can't you give it to me? And afterwards, it will turn into resentment and then all that shit. Nah, that's long. With regard to fame and shit, this is one thing I was thinking. I was thinking, like, if my podcast does blow up and I'm starting to get recognized on the street, like, would I like that? And have you guys thought about that?
I've said it in the past that I wish I had a mask on and I used the alias to start this. But then again, it wouldn't have the same ring as it does like Aaron and Hamish chatting shit on a podcast compared to you know, like 2 people with a mask, because still our close friends would know it and it would somehow spread out anyways.
I wouldn't wear a mask though. Like it would just be you.
In an alternate world, I would have restarted it and both of us had masks and alias and we just chat shit like freely. We don't even tell our close friends. Maybe, and then we just have the, you know, the anonymous, a bit of that anonymous. And then if it blew up, it wouldn't be much of an issue. You know, the way I think of it is how M. Honcho explains it. Like, being anonymous, you know, like keeps your privacy, keeps intact. So, and I feel like that's such a big thing. Like, I know, like once again, like even in the case with 100 million, like everyone just knew you're rich. Say you now had to drive everywhere, yeah, because you can't take the tube. You can't ever like get on.
You got enough money to do that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but then like say you go into a restaurant now, son. Say Aaron, you go into a Nando's now.
Well, why are you going? Yeah, true. And why are you going Nando's?
Aaron loves the Nando's. He wants to go to Nando's. Now he has to book out the whole restaurant and pay like the fee for the entire restaurant for the night or something.
That's minor.
For a Nando's, for like an £11 meal, you know, like, so it's like, is it worth it? Whereas with 1 million, with that exact number still, that works out because, you know, for example, and I could buy a house to get rent out right away, and that would be money coming in at the same time.
Like, but think about it this way: you're thinking small. 100 million, you could do bare shit.
You can do a lot of things with 100 million.
100 million is pretty much, let's say, generational wealth. That's your kids' set as well.
Do you not worry that they'll get bothered because everyone will think, oh, that person's father's rich, so because everyone knows it, remember? So like then they're just gonna get a bit harassed for it, even if you send them private school and everything, keep them away from it. You have to remember that they're gonna get harassed for it. And
that happens though. That happens right now. Like Bill Gates' kids, all these rich people, like they all know that. But the thing is, like, no, but the environment that they actually live in or get raised in, they're all wealthy people, so they will never be seen as, oh, your dad's rich. Oh, let me try and exploit you, because everyone else is rich.
But also it's the thing about, you know how you mentioned, like, you don't know what a kid's been like going through. It's like, do you really want to add these additional things into potentially your kid? Like, would you even keep that as a possibility when you could remove it? Like,
so would you be making money yourself? Like, are you going to be working, or will you just be living off this?
With the 1 million, I'll probably still work for a bit, right? Like, I'll still work.
So this money that you make will actually be added onto your actual standard income, and then you'll be taxed at a higher bracket, so maybe 40% or 45%.
Or you pass it through a company and then you get...
Or you can put it through a company. Yeah.
And that would reduce the tax by a little bit. But in my current situation, if I was given 1 million, I would still be working, but it wouldn't be for much longer because I'd want to see how much of the debt I could get paid off in one go, like, you know, the mortgages and everything. And because I'd be renting out one place as well, so, and seeing what I can be paid back. And based on that, I'd make the decision because I don't want to be like slacking around. Like, I still feel like I just want to put myself maybe to a job that is more probably meaningful to the world than what I currently do. I won't lie.
No, not meaningful to what? Maybe, what about meaningful to you?
Yeah, I mean, like, just like more effective, you know, something I'd deem as more, I'd want to do more than...
Okay, I get that.
I'm not saying I don't want to do my job any less. It's just that, you know, like, the impact that I want to make.
Wait, this actually has a relation to one of these other would you rathers. So would you rather do something great for all of humanity, but be remembered as one of the worst people who ever lived? Or do nothing with any lasting impact in your lifetime and be remembered as a hero to all people?
Nothing, be a hero.
I think I might take the selfish route and be like, yeah, do nothing but be remembered as a hero.
Will anyone ever at a later date be able to understand that you did an impact that they didn't realize?
Wait, I'm dead. I don't care.
No, they don't. Like, you literally did nothing, but no one ever knows that. They just think you're a hero.
Depends on my thought process at the time, innit? It depends on my thought process at the time. Right now, I'm not in a position to be like, you know, like the other. What was the option where everyone would hate you?
You've done something great. Like you've like cured cancer.
This is like that HIV guy. You know that HIV guy that's actually come up with a cocktail of drugs to help cure HIV, but he's charging like $2,000 per drug or something, like a ridiculous amount of money per drug. So he's being hated because he's exploiting and charging a ridiculous amount for drugs, even though he came up with a cure for HIV. I think it was HIV.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I remember it was for something, but I don't remember which disease it was, but it could have been HIV. So
yeah, that's a tough one. And last one was, would you rather have an obsessive, insane person love you or hate you?
That's a good question.
I think love.
No, because that could be like toxic, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but they hate you. They're like, probably like trying to kill you.
But then they're going out of their way to ensure that everything you do.
You're not scared for your life.
Like,
do you know what I mean?
You know Piers Morgan with Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
She can be just crossing the street and he will literally critique her.
Yeah, it's fuming. It's like Graham Souness and Paul Pogba.
Yes.
Same energy.
Ooh.
Like, if they hate you, they could like, you could be like literally fear for your life, like every day. Like, they could be like, they could be want to kill you. They could like.
Very true.
If it's love, it's like, it's probably annoying, but.
Have you guys watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I haven't, no. No. But it is something that's like on the watch list.
Yeah, skip season 1, just watch, which was straight from season 2. But one of the characters loves a waitress, and it's gotten very toxic whereby he's doing things for her even though she doesn't want it done. And he sees it as he's helping her, but she doesn't want that. And she's now started to hate him, or not just hate him. She's resenting him because like she never asked for this shit, but he's doing it. Do you understand?
Right.
I could have worded it a bit better.
Yeah, slightly lost.
Alcohol. Ignore me.
What'd you do? Hate or love?
If you're gonna, I'd rather have the hate one anyways. Like I feel like there's enough people that love. I don't know. I feel like there's enough people that, you know, like dislike me enough already and have gone out the way to bother me. It's like I couldn't give.
But this is obsessive, like insane. This is.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh well. No, I think the love one is more toxic than it's worth. Like, I don't know. Am I willing to put myself through that like every day, every hour, whatever? Versus,
but hatred, like you're mind your own business, and there's someone out there.
But it's just someone out there, innit? It doesn't matter.
No, but they could be lobbying other people, starting campaigns, smearing you. Literally, you're applying for a job, or you're at your current job, and they're writing to the CEO saying, "Oh, Hamish, he fucked a cat."
Sorry, realistic.
Realistic. No. And literally, and then you're now under investigation, and this is happening on a regular basis.
Was it Shane Dawson? Ain't it Shane Dawson did that shit?
I was trying to think of the name. I think it was Shane Dawson. I think it's more dangerous when someone you love is just trying to like force things upon you, like, you know, than when someone who hates you is doing it. And I feel like karma also catches up in it, so I'm not too concerned about that.
What we do is like we end the episode with like some final questions, a call out and a shout out. So our first final question for you actually is what's your Nando's order?
Chicken fries, medium. Because sometimes the hot is just too hot. I'm just like, nah, it ruins the food. Not hot, but just like, it just ruins the food. So yeah, I get medium, peri chips, and a new rainbow slaw. Then I also get a quarter chicken. So with the wing, not the...
Okay.
That's a lie. With the leg and the thigh. Sorry, because it's really juicy. I'll get it with the new sauce. What's that new sauce? The barbecue
garlic
sauce.
Garlic barbecue.
I have that. That's really nice. And then a gooey caramel cheesecake and an unlimited Coke.
Oh, you go for dessert. And you actually get a drink as well, not the tap water.
I pay that sugar tax as well.
I'll go for a sunset burger, hot, peri fries. If I'm getting like a side or something, it'll probably be the halloumi sticks. Probably just tap water as well normally. But if I'm getting a fizzy drink, it'll be like a Coke.
Hamish?
Oh, I have like 3 or 4 go-to things. So I'm just going to go with, I guess, the one I probably had most commonly.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's going to be mixed with some of the new items anyways for over. So I'd usually have one of like the sweet potato wedges, the new starter, or the hummus one, whatever the hummus one is called. And then I'd go for a sunset burger, no cheese, mango and lime, but they don't have mango and lime anymore, so I just have to opt for lemon and herb, sadly. I haven't been enough recently, just so you know, to like try the garlic barbecue and so on. But it would be that sunset burger, no cheese, what is it, lemon and herb, peri chips, and yeah, that would be it. With tap water once again.
So you guys don't go for dessert?
Nah.
I've gone for dessert a couple of times. It's just like some Nando's have something that some don't. I don't think the desserts at Nando's are worth it. I'd rather get a starter.
Have you tried the gooey caramel cheesecake? I implore you guys to get it. So back when I was at uni, myself and my friends, in actual fact, 2 of those individuals that dropped out of my podcast, we would go to Nando's every week, like twice a week or so, such that we now befriended the Nando's staff and we were getting 40% friends and family discount.
40%?
Because we were that close to it. Yeah. And it was pretty much peanuts, like £5 or £6 for a whole Nando's meal. So I was privileged enough to actually sample everything on that menu.
Like, that does sound like a privilege.
Big up Nando's. I need to get a black card though.
When the podcast blows up,
you're not allowed to ask for it. Yeah.
I'm not asking, but I just need to get one.
Yeah, soon come.
Yeah. The second question, however, is now, who would be your dream podcast guest? I guess this would be for your own podcast.
Guest. Do you know what, actually, I've been telling my friends to get Katie Hopkins on. Not because I agree with her. Yeah. I don't agree with her. No. I don't agree with her views. But I feel like
with your style of podcast, I think it could like work. Like
it could work. And also, we would actually give her a chance to speak. Because most people will intercept and be like, okay, no, I've had enough. I feel like, actually, no, I think it will get to a stage where I will be like, actually, okay, shut the fuck up. But I don't know. No, that's a lie, because some of the things she says is actually, if you don't think too deep into it and just look at it superficially, it's hilarious. Like, who thinks like that? Why the fuck are you thinking like that? But like, it just...
It's one of those where, like, if you have a controversial character like that on your podcast or your show or YouTube channel, or whatever, that you like dislike, but it's like they'll do well. Having them on will do well for your like podcast. Like, it'll get you views, it'll get you clicks, whatever. And then what happens if, like, I've imagined it, like, if we got someone like really controversial on that we like hated, and then we were like argue with them, and then we're like, after 10 minutes, they were like, yeah, no, fuck this, I'm not doing it, and hung up. And then we've just like fucked up like a pretty like good opportunity, do you know, to have.
No, I think that's enough content.
Just the 10 minutes.
To see them just walk out. Yeah, you can carry on. But no, I've always wanted Katie. I've always wanted Donald Trump. I find Donald Trump hilarious. I don't know, his tweets, everything. I find him hilarious. I find him a troll. Michael Jackson, I've always wanted. I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. He's dead, but still can resurrect him. Prince Andrew.
All these characters you're going for, man, they're all a bit...
No, because I would love to hear his side and then just pick holes, just find the holes in it and just expose him.
Okay.
Because we all know he did that shit. He's a paedophile. Allegedly, yeah. But yeah, no, but someone that I've always wanted on.
Is there anyone like not like controversial, like it's something you'd like literally just admire?
I feel like, okay, because I work in Harrods part-time, so I see celebs and presidents and royal families on a regular basis, so that shock factor has left.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, you're just a normal person. I don't really care. Oh, Kanye. That's like Kanye West. I would fucking love Kanye West on my podcast. I just love that guy. Okay. I absolutely adore that guy. Kanye is the only person that I'll be like, sorry, take that back. Harvey Price as well. Harvey
as in
Price. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have TikTok now, and he's been coming up on my TikTok. And he's just such a lovely guy. And he's just so funny.
Did you see like the documentary, like Harvey and Me, like from his Kate Price's documentary?
No, I've been meaning.
I've heard it's actually like really like sweet or whatever.
No, he's just like, I just love him to bits. I really want to hug him. If I see him, I will hug him.
And apparently his dad's Dwight York, who's like a Man United legend.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bit. That's one of those where like we were talking about earlier, like the father just like saying like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with it, and just like, yeah, don't rate him for that.
But yeah, I don't know. I really like Harvey Price. Harvey and Kanye are the only two individuals that I would lose composure for. Just
a little question on what you said by working in like Harrods. Is there anyone that you've met like famous where they've like, you've met and they're like, oh, they're a fucking dick? You can't say.
I can't say.
Okay.
But there has been one individual. I can't say.
Okay, yeah, but Kanye and Harvey.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think for me, it would be like, as like a massive like Man United fan, it would be like Sir Alex Ferguson or like Roy Keane, like that kind of Man United kind of legend.
What I would do is I'll think about the long-term views, and I'll say the sidemen, so you could have 7 weeks of the sidemen, and that's basically, hopefully you could get some viewers to stick or listeners to stick, and that could leave you with a good base. If
say it wasn't like views, like it wasn't really to do with views. It was just you want to talk to this person. Would it not be 50 Cent?
It would be, but like I feel like that's also a banterous thing, isn't it? That's not like a
Curtis Jackson. Oh, nice, that guy.
You have issue with him.
Do you know what though? Some of the things that he says and does to his colleagues and friends, for the name of banter is a bit too much.
I haven't been following recent stuff, but I have no idea what you're referring to. So, do you want to give an example?
He was taking the piss out of one of his. Have you guys watched Power?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think her name was Tanya, the one that was married to Ghost. Yeah, he was taking the piss out of her, and then she was like, "Yo, like, what the fuck?" He was basically taking the piss out of her hairline, the fact she needs a weave, all that shit, like proper. And you know Curtis Jackson, he goes in, and I was just thinking like, there is no need for that. And she called him out. I was like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, I'm not in on this joke. You're just taking the piss out of me on Twitter. So yeah, I don't know. That's the only reason why I like Curtis. But other than that, his music is good though. I like his music.
I see. I mean, I wasn't aware of the situation, but I mean, it doesn't really change it. It's like when people were complaining. You know, when people were complaining about when Rick Ross was like a few years back when he was like on his like deathbed for whatever reason, he was like, because he has beef with him, he was like, he posted some meme about if he dies, he dies, yeah. And everyone was getting angry. Like, what do you mean? But this is like literally he literally says this in the music. Like, if his enemy dies, he dies. It doesn't matter. Like, why is this an issue to you? Like, I mean, I couldn't care less about that, but yeah. As long as he's not doing anything sexist or anything ridiculous, then we can live with it. Who would I want to talk to though? Like, I don't know.
Raheem Sterling.
Oh shit, yeah, actually Raheem Sterling. It has to be Raheem Sterling.
Why?
Yeah, Northwest London. Have to support the boys. But then I don't know what I'd say to her. I don't know what we'd speak about. Well, wait. I'm like, yeah, I'm a big fan. Cheers for inspiring me. Like, what do you mean to say?
It's up to you. Man.
It has to be someone that you can have a proper debate with. Basically, I'm still going to say a Sidemen just because it would work out for us anyways, like just having a conversation with them. A lot of business opportunities, as scummy as that sounds for me to say, but...
Third and final question for you, Freddy. This is actually a question we ask every guest, and that is, what has been your most memorable third wheeling experience?
So I invited my friends out, like to one male, one female, and I didn't know that like they're my friends. Like they know each other because of me, and I didn't know that they did things. So we went out to Westfield, going for drinks, and I'm just seeing them like proper like handsy, touchy after a few drinks. I'm just like, okay, this is well awkward because I'm just here on my own. And I was like, yeah, okay, guys, like for my sake, can you just like pause it so that we can have a good time? Then they went to the toilet together, tutus, and I was just sat there just drinking on my own. Yeah, that's.
Did you see him the rest of the night?
Oh no, I left actually. I actually left.
Fair enough.
I left.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, there's no way I could stay there.
Are they still together?
No.
Yep, the next section is a call-out/nomination, so you can nominate one or many people to hopefully be a guest on in the future when we return to podcasting. So who would you like to nominate?
I want to invite the whole podcast, my podcast, onto your podcast. In fact, I want to invite you guys onto my podcast so we can do a collaboration.
Down.
That's my call-out.
Yeah, that'd be sick. We'll be free for a little while, so we'll have time.
Yeah, cross-collaboration.
But yeah, send over your podcast people as well, and we'll tag them in when you release your episode. Last bit's a shout out. So basically anything you want to like shout out, give a plug to, whatever, we'll leave the links to it in the description. So yeah, Freddy, anything?
Yeah, so just add me on Instagram at Freddy's Fables. Also podcast, pull the plug.
Yeah, it's on, what did you say? You said SoundCloud, YouTube.
No, it's not on SoundCloud anymore. So it's on Spotify, YouTube, Google Play,
all the podcast kind
Amazon,
of players.
Stitcher, all those podcast places.
Yeah, same place wherever you probably listen to this, you'll be able to find them.
Yeah, and Insta. And that is all.
Cool. Hamish, anything?
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
No, pleasure.
Yeah, my shout is going to be for a song that's not on Spotify that it recently released, is K-Trap Music Ocean Eyes Remix. That's what I'm going to shout out.
K-Trap, okay.
I'm just gonna shout out to fucking Cristiano Ronaldo, mate. My man's home. That's it. Cool, but yeah, thanks like a million, Freddy, for coming on. And yeah, guess we'll just speak to you all next week. All right, see you guys.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Ciao.
The studio is my second home. That's why I have it in my bedroom. I really do this all on my own. A shark quarry and my brother home. He was here from the day one. And not gonna lie, he's a real one. In my team there are no fake ones. It's a fake love, no I don't want. I can't lie.